Imagine an empire so vast it was said the sun never set on it. This was the Spanish Empire. The inception of this colossal empire dates back to the late 15th century, a time when the Iberian Peninsula was not just a landmass, but a crucible of power. The union of two influential figures, Ferdinand II of Aragon and Isabella I of Castile, marked the genesis of the Spanish Empire. Their alliance was not merely a matrimonial bond, but a strategic merger that unified Spain and ignited a spark of ambition. Under their reign, an era of exploration and colonization began. The world was their canvas, and they were eager to paint their legacy. The thirst for discovery led to the advent of voyages that reached far beyond the known world. Naval fleets sailed across uncharted seas, driven by the allure of new lands and the promise of untold riches. The Spanish Empire was born, setting the stage for an era of unprecedented exploration and conquest. Gold, glory, God. The three G's that drove the Spanish Empire to its golden age. The 16th and 17th centuries marked a period of expansion and prosperity for the Spanish Empire, an era often referred to as its golden age. This was a time when the empire's influence stretched far and wide, its tendrils reaching into the vast corners of the New World. With the discovery of new lands came an influx of wealth that was previously unimaginable. Gold and silver from the Americas flowed into the empire's coffers like a river, transforming Spain into one of the wealthiest nations on Earth. This newfound wealth fueled the empire's expansion, enabling it to establish far-reaching trade routes that spanned continents. The empire traded everything from precious metals and gemstones to exotic spices and textiles, further boosting its economic power. But the Spanish Empire's influence wasn't just economic. It also left an indelible mark on global culture, religion, and language. Spanish explorers and missionaries spread their language and faith across the New World, leaving a lasting legacy that can still be felt today. Spanish became one of the world's most spoken languages, and Catholicism took root in regions far from the empire's heartland. In addition to this, the empire's rich culture, from its literature and art to its music and cuisine, seeped into the fabric of societies around the world. The Spanish Golden Age was not only a period of economic prosperity, but also a time of cultural flowering, with contributions to arts and sciences that have shaped the world as we know it. Yes, the Spanish Empire during its Golden Age was a force to be reckoned with. Its power and influence were unparalleled, its wealth unimaginable. It was a time when Spain, fueled by gold, guided by glory, and grounded in God, became a beacon of power and wealth that commanded the world's attention. The Spanish Empire was at its zenith, a beacon of power and wealth that commanded the world's attention. But as with all great empires, the cracks started to show. The Spanish Empire, once a beacon of power and wealth, began to face numerous challenges as the 17th and 18th centuries rolled around. Economic instability was one of the first signs of trouble. The empire's reliance on gold and silver from the Americas led to a problematic economic model. As the mines dried up and the flow of precious metals dwindled, the empire found itself in an economic quagmire. The lack of a robust domestic industry and heavy reliance on imports further strained the economy. Inflation soared, the value of their currency plummeted, and the empire found itself sinking into a financial abyss. The empire's problems weren't just economic. Military conflicts began to chip away at its might. The empire was engaged in numerous wars, draining the royal coffers and spreading the military thin. The War of Spanish Succession, the War of the Quadruple Alliance, and a plethora of other conflicts saw the empire's military might wane. But the empire's issues weren't just external. Internal strife began to tear at the fabric of Spanish society. The Habsburgs' stringent centralization policies had alienated many within their territories. This alienation was further compounded by religious intolerance, particularly towards Jews and Muslims. The disenfranchised began to rise, adding to the empire's growing list of problems. Perhaps the most significant challenge came from across the Atlantic. The colonies that had once been the empire's treasure chest began to yearn for independence. Inspired by Enlightenment ideals, movements for self-governance sprouted in Mexico, Peru, and other parts of Latin America. These movements grew in strength and determination, further destabilizing the empire. The Spanish Empire, once the world's most formidable power, was now grappling with economic instability, military conflicts, internal dissent, and a wave of independence movements in its colonies. The once mighty empire was now teetering on the brink of collapse. The sun was setting on the Spanish Empire. As the 19th century unfolded, Spain, once a titan of power, faced the loss of its last major colonies. The once vast territories of Cuba, Puerto Rico, Guam, and the Philippines slipped from the empire's grasp, leaving behind a shadow of its former glory. The final blow came with the Spanish-American War at the tail end of the century. A brief but intense conflict, it marked the end of Spanish colonial rule in the Americas and the Pacific, and heralded the rise of the United States as a global power. Spain was left with only a handful of African territories, a stark contrast to the empire that once spanned continents. The loss was more than territorial. It was a profound shift in the balance of world power, a signal that the age of European colonial empires was waning. And so, the sun finally set on the Spanish Empire, marking the end of an era. The Spanish Empire may have fallen, but its legacy lives on. This monumental empire, once stretching across continents and oceans, has left an indelible mark on the world we know today. Its rise, a narrative of ambition and exploration, reshaped the globe, introducing new lands to the known world. Its golden era, a time of unparalleled wealth and power, saw the empire at the zenith of its might, influencing trade, politics, and culture far beyond its borders. Yet, the turning tides of history were not always in its favor. The empire's decline, a story of rebellion, war, and economic downturn, reminds us that even the mightiest can fall. But the Spanish Empire's influence didn't end with its decline. It continues to echo in the Spanish language spoken by millions, in the spread of Catholicism, and in the cultural imprints left in former colonies. The Spanish Empire, a testament to mankind's thirst for exploration and conquest, will forever be a fascinating chapter in the annals of history.